Hi there, welcome back to the Virtual Airline Pilot Channel. Today then we're looking at this aircraft, the TFDi Design 717. Are you ready? Let's go flying. So welcome then to this first impressions video of a brand new aircraft. This is the TFDi Design 717. It's only been out a few days and I've recently just picked it up 23rd of December, and really exciting that they've managed to get this aircraft out for Christmas, and I'm sure quite a few people have gone out and bought it. So yeah, I thought I'd jump in the aircraft and do a short video just to kind of show you around the aircraft, show you how it performs, how it sounds, and give my first impressions of that. So just taking a look at the exterior model now, which is really nice. Lots and lots of detail. I must admit I'm guilty of not really spending too much time outside the aircraft because I'm mainly interested in what's going on inside the flight deck, as real pilots would be, but taking a look around, it's really nice. A lot of attention to detail. You can see all the rivets, and yeah, just looking around, there's clearly a lot of work gone into this aircraft, which is really nice. So a little bit about this aircraft in the real world. It's one I'm not really familiar with, which is partly or mostly due to the fact that I live in Europe, I live in the UK, and this aircraft doesn't really operate there. There's one operator, Volotea, in Barcelona. They fly to the UK, but it's down in Southampton, so I've never actually seen one of these in real life. You know, see Boeings and Airbuses all day, but like 737s, A320s, A321s, but never really seen one of these, so I was quite excited to get my hands on this aircraft and try it out. So in the real world then, there's a few operators. Qantas use this in Australia, Delta and Hawaiian, and there's only really I think 150 odd of these aircraft ever built, and that was between 1995 and 2006. And it didn't actually start life as a Boeing aircraft. It started life as a McDonnell Douglas aircraft, the MD-95, and Boeing bought the company, and this project was underway, and they saw some potential in it and decided to remarket it as the 717. Now when we get on the flight deck, you'll kind of see that the name Boeing ends at the front door, because the displays, the switches, the sounds, everything, it's not Boeing at all really. So for me, who I fly the 737 NGX and the 777 quite a lot, and there's some similarity between those two, there's no similarities here really. And in fact, if you're familiar with the PMDG MD-11, this aircraft will probably make a lot more sense to you. So let's jump on the flight deck, take a look around, and I'll tell you a bit more about what I'm going to cover in this video. Okay, so welcome on board. Now, currently at Samos airport in Greece, and this is a typical airport that this type of aircraft would operate to. So not a very long runway, but challenging terrain, a challenging departure and approach, and that's what this aircraft is made for really. It's only a 100-seater, and yeah, I definitely know Volotea, who are a Spanish operator. They definitely specialise in flying to this sort of destination. So the flight today then, really it's not about how to fly this aircraft, because I'm still learning myself. It's to show you how the aircraft performs, how it sounds, and just give a little bit of feedback on that, give my verdict, and you can kind of go and try it out for yourself. Going to start up the aircraft, not going to go through full system flows again, I'm learning that. Going to push back, start up the engines, and taxi out to the runway down here, take off, fly around, see how it manoeuvres, and there'll be no landing today. So Samos is quite a challenging approach, and still kind of learning this aircraft, so that's for another day. But that's it for the video. So yeah, let's talk about the aircraft. Well, you know, looking around, there's lots and lots of detail, just like the exterior model. It's really nice. There's some things that look brand new, such as the seats, and then there's things that look not so new, such as the throttle handles there. And there's some kind of quirky stuff as well on the overhead. You can see here, little sticker, and the buttons look quite warm. So there's some real nice attention to detail here. Yeah, you can see there, look, that button's really warm. Could probably do a change in, but just like the real thing really, so that's quite cool. Right, so I'm going to start off with this. This is a neat feature. It's a tablet, and this is where you control the aircraft in terms of the state it's in and kind of things that you want to set up, like as ground power. So if we go to exterior, see the main doors open, but from here, kind of ground power unit, you can open the galley door, cargo doors, add a air start unit. Some of these things haven't been modelled quite yet, which isn't too much of a problem. The guys at TFDi Design have been quite clear in their product roadmap, if you like, that this first iteration has pretty much everything you need to get this aircraft going, and there's a few things that don't work. So it's good that they said that, and looking forward to the additions in the future. But if a few buttons don't work, I don't think it's the end of the world. And they have been quite hot on making updates to this aircraft from release. So it's only been a few days, and they've already released a recent performance update which has solved a stuttering problem. So that's really great to see. Anyway, so this is where you set the exterior states. Crew, not going to talk about this today. This is a really cool feature though, in that if you've got a friend that has got the 717, you can connect and you can fly the aircraft together, and that's really great to see that built into the aircraft. So we'll cover that another day. Documents, I like this as well. Gives you the ability to load up a PNG or a JPEG, I think. In this case it's the checklist, which comes as standard, and that's a really nice feature, because you could have charts here, you could have your load sheet or your flight plan, and it just means when you're flying you can quickly refer to what's on there. And there's one this side as well, on the first officer's side, so that's pretty cool. Moving on then, we have got the status. So at the moment, cold and dark, but there's ready to start and ready to fly. I'm going to be utilising these today. I'm not going to go through full system flows and setup procedures, purely because this is a first impressions video. It's not how to fly the aircraft, it's just how the aircraft performs. And yeah, I'm still learning the aircraft, so in later videos I'll be kind of going through the systems and stuff, but yeah, utilising these for the flight today. This is a nice feature as well, some kind of key figures. So when you're filling out the various pages on the flight management system, you've got things like the centre of gravity, your zero fuel weight. These are all important things that you need to work out the performance of the aircraft. Okay, going to keep it on that screen. Let's go to the overhead panel, and in fact let's quickly go back. I'm just going to check that. Okay, we've got a ground power unit, so I'm just going to turn a few things on so you can hear how the aircraft sounds. So let's turn the battery on, and you see it says available for external power. Let's turn that on. Okay, so already the sound effects really nice. Kind of air conditioning sound in the background. That sounds really cool. The displays are going to go through some self-tests and flicker on and off, and the yoke's going to move back and forward with the stick shaker and the stick pusher, which is something kind of feature of this aircraft. So whilst it's doing that then, what else can I tell you? Well, the documentation for this aircraft, it's a little light at the moment, and again the guys at TFDi Design have been clear from the start that they've given you enough documentation to get this aircraft started up, a step-by-step guide, so you can take this aircraft from a cold and dark state right through to start up, pushback, engine start, taxi out, take off, every single stage. The more detailed procedures, this is kind of like a study level aircraft. Those more detailed procedures are later down the line, I think, but they certainly give you enough documentation to get started, which is really good. And there's that guide, and then there's also a guide per system. So for your flight management system, for your autopilot system, radios, you name it. So that's really good, and that can be downloaded before you purchase the product from the TFDi website. Just go to the download section. So it's nice that you can get your hands on that before you purchase. The other thing as well is I just wanted to mention about how easy it is to purchase and install this aircraft, because not that anyone else is particularly difficult, but when you buy an aircraft from a new developer, you can think, well, is there going to be an issue installing it? Am I going to have to do anything in particular? The whole process was really easy. So buying this from the website, you download the TFDi Design add-on manager, and from there you can just select to install it into your simulator of choice. So in my case, Prepar3d, and it installed it straight away, no problems. I could jump into Prepared and use the aircraft straight away, so that was great. And then from that that piece of software, you can manage the loading of the aircraft, the fuel, certain different equipment choices, and also manage that aircraft sharing that I talked about earlier. So that's really cool. And update wise, since I bought it, there's been 2 updates, I think. One fixed a problem with the navigation database, and another one fixed a problem with some stuttering. And they are really reactive to fixing problems, and they're quite interactive in terms of speaking on the forum and getting people's feedback. And what's been really nice is the kind of community of users have been feeding back the issues they've had with the simulator and the product, and the guys at TFDi Design have fixed it, so that's really nice. Okay, so we're kind of all set up now to go into the next stage, which is go through to the status page, ready to start. Let's click that. So it's going to fire up the displays. No need then to align the IRS as you would usually, and that's set all the systems to the next stage. Probably good to have a little look around the flight deck before we go to the next bit, which is engine start. So most switches work. I've not really played around with stuff too much, but from someone who hasn't really flown this aircraft, or I've never really seen on the flight deck, to be honest, it has been interesting to have a look around and see how it differs from a 737 or a 727. And if we have a little look around, then the panel is quite sparse. The lower panel here, got 2 comm radios, no nav radios. These are actually on the FMSs, which I'll have a look at in a minute. The usual stuff like weather radar, which is modelled by Active Sky Next. Transponder. These buttons here control this display here. So this one's fixed, and this one is not. And you can change various displays on there. And they're all modelled, which is really great. Moving up then, things that are a little bit different is this here, a fuel crossfeed lever. It's a bit different, not something you usually see on a Boeing aircraft. And the flap lever also looks a bit different. So you can really tell that Boeing kind of bought McDonnell Douglas and this project was underway, and they just went, okay, we'll call it a Boeing, but really it's not at all. Moving up then, the flight management system. Yeah, this doesn't look anything like a Boeing aircraft, so there's going to be some education here in terms of programming this, and I'm finding it a little bit tricky to get my head around, but always up for a challenge. That's the fun of Flight Simulator. Just other things like, the fire handles are up here. These displays, they almost look more Airbus than Boeing. Moving up to the autopilot area, I suppose this is kind of like a Boeing, but again, the terminology is just slightly different, so it kind of takes a bit getting used to. The call-outs as well, as we get going, you'll notice how they're very different. The overheads, it's mainly switches rather than switches and displays, so in terms of feedback, you're really relying on this page here, or this display here, to check that you've got all the right settings. So that'll take a bit of getting used to as well. But yeah, really nice model, and I think we should take it for a spin. Other little details I like is, if you look at the tablet there, you've got the thumbprints on it, and it looks a bit dirty, and looking down the screens as well, you've got a bit of dust on there. So it just really adds to that immersion. Okay, I think what we need to do then is let's push back, and then we're going to hit ready to fly. Okay, use GSX. Let's just go straight pushback. I think the doors are closed. Okay, it's not. That's the door closed.
Hello, Captain.
There go the stairs.
You're ready for pushback.
Let's get rid of that for now.
Locking gear.
Probably put the anti-collision light on.
Departure check completed. Bypass vent inserted. Release parking brakes.
Okay, I think it was on. So let's take the parking brake off.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start that wheel.
Okay, so it's straight pushback. So let's go ready to fly. Hopefully it's not going to mess up the pushback. So that's going to start the engines. As I said, this isn't a video about how to fly this aircraft. It's purely a video of how this aircraft performs. As you can see, frame rate wise, if I load up that, currently getting anywhere from 35 to about 50, which I've got everything maxed out really, and I'm quite impressed at that. Comparatively to the 737 NGX what I fly, this actually runs more or less the same, perhaps a little bit better. So it's quite low on system resources, which is nice. I think that's far enough. Let's stop pushback here.
Set parking brakes.
Here we go. Looks like those engines are starting up nicely. And this would be a good time to program a route as such. So LGSN.
Unlocking gear. Tow truck disconnected. Bypass main removed.
So yeah, it is taking a bit of getting used to this flight management system. I'm probably doing it all wrong, but hey. Okay, so I think we're going to go runway 27 today.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Okay, zero fuel weight, centre of gravity. So this is where the iPad or tablet comes in useful, so just have a look at that. 39.8. And C of G is 22.1. Let's put the same in again. Flap. Now I think flaps 13 is the standard for takeoff, so it looks like we've got that set, so let's put that in the box. And let's go. Outside air temperature is 9 degrees Celsius. Okay, so we need to put 9C. And And there we go, got some V speed. So 136. Now one thing I have noticed is this does take a little bit getting used to. The
brakes. Brakes.
Interesting. Okay. So I think what that was is when you set up this aircraft, you have the option to I think it's called persistence mode, which means you can have the aircraft set up how you last left it. And I think how I last left this was lined up on a runway actually taking off, so I think the auto flight system there was engaged and turning the auto throttle up to takeoff power, so just turned that off there. Right, where were we? 136 and stab trim 5.3, that's set. Flaps are set. Let's put 3,000 feet in the box for now. Good. Okay, I think I'll do for now. Let's take the brakes off and taxi out. Now another thing I have noticed is you can see this aircraft moves very quickly. There's a bit of a lag on the throttle, so you can see the throttle position. If I move that, it takes a while for the engines to spool up and then the aircraft really rockets along. So you just need to be aware of that when you're taxiing and have your feet on the brakes ready. So let's head out onto the runway, backtrack, and we're going to be taking off to the right. So you can hear the engines throttling up quite quickly, just something you need to be aware of.
On runway 091,900 feet remaining.
Okay, so let's spin it round. This scenery, if you're interested, is by 29 Palms, and this is Samos. Really, really cool scenery, worth checking out. Did do a video not so long ago flying into here in the 737 NGX. It is quite a challenging approach. Didn't do a great job, but definitely worth checking out if you'd like to be challenged. Okay. Okay, that's good. Stop it there. Okay, so you're going to take off and make a left turn because there's a big mounting at the end there. In fact, let's see if we can get some terrain up. Turn the transponder on. There we go.
TCAS test pass.
Just mentioned earlier actually about getting used to these. All these buttons or these knobs have a push and a pull action. So if you pull it, it will activate, and in this case it will fly a heading. If you push it, if you're flying heading 090 for example, if you push it, it'll automatically set this to like a heading hold mode to 090. It just takes a little bit of getting used to. Okay. Let's do this. Just advance the throttles. There we go. V1 and rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Okay, so we've got a mountain ahead, so I'm just going to take a left turn straight away. So in terms of handling on the ground, not too lively. As I said, that throttle is there's a bit of lag. Now I don't know whether that's intrinsic of the aircraft or it's something that needs changing, but you just need to be aware that the speed can run away with itself. Right, let's put the flaps up.
Altitude.
Going to continue to climb past 3,000. There is a lot of high terrain here, as you can see. Let's continue up to, say, that's 6,000. Yeah, manoeuvring the aircraft on the ground quite easy. Only a few small inputs on the rudder. Climbing nicely now. Going to try and get above the clouds, and then we can have a play around with the aircraft and see how it handles. To hand fly though, it is really nice, quite light. Okay, let's continue to climb up. And follow the flight director.
Altitude.
You see it does climb really, really quickly. Okay, so in theory that should level out now.
Stabilizer motion.
So there's those call-outs I was talking about. They do sound incredibly different from anything you'd hear on a Boeing. Let's make a left turn here. And you just right click to pull the knob and that will execute that heading. Let's take a look outside. Yeah, so far so good. I'm enjoying flying this aircraft. It's a new challenge in terms of the system, the way it flies, the terminology, what all the systems do, and slowly getting there. But you know, for $59.99, can't really go wrong. So I paid in pounds. It was about £40, and yeah, for this level of detail, really impressive. Okay, let's disengage the autopilot and do some hand flying just to see how it feels.
Autopilot.
So yeah, I mean, just hand flying it is really, really smooth. Just the kind of smallest inputs, and the aircraft manoeuvres nicely. One thing I haven't practiced too much in this is landing the aircraft. Had a couple of attempts, and what is good about this aircraft, it is good at getting into short runways and those challenging approaches. So if you're into that sort of thing, that's really, really good. What else can I tell you about this aircraft? Well, I think it sounds good, sounds really immersive, handles really well. It's I think for the money it's really worth it. And what's really cool is the developers are really on it in terms of getting feedback from customers, and if there are any things to be fixed, they're fixing it and they're getting it done. So that's really nice to see. Not to say that anyone else doesn't do that, but especially with a new product, it's really important to have that kind of support in place. So I already saw that they were chatting on the forum before I purchased it, and it was part of the buying decision really. I knew that if anything was wrong with the aircraft or I needed some help, there was someone I could reach out to purchase. So final verdict then, I think for the money it's definitely worth it. Really great first debut aircraft for these guys, and you should check it out. Definitely worth investing for the Christmas break. Do a bit of flying. Expect to see some more videos of this aircraft on this channel. Hope you enjoyed that first impressions. I'll be back soon again with some more videos over the Christmas and New Year break. Don't forget to hit subscribe and give me a like and a comment as well. And if you've got any questions about this aircraft, leave a comment below. I'm going to be flying it progressively over the coming weeks, so I can give my feedback then, and I'll do some more videos. Anyway, I'll leave you with that, and this was the TFDi Design 717. See you again soon for another video on the Virtual Airline Pilot Channel. See ya.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for flying with the Virtual Airline Pilot today. We ask that you remain seated, press the subscribe button and keep your seatbelt fastened until the aircraft has come to a complete stop. Should you wish to leave a message, a comment box is provided below. We wish you a safe onward journey.